They've both scored 14 goals. Stevie, with your Liverpool hat on, how are you feeling going into this game?
If Liverpool go into this game with Virgil van Dijk, then I'm extremely confident.
He hasn't trained all week, is he confirmed?
Yeah, I think that's just precautionary. You know, only missing a week of training is not going to affect him too much. I'm assuming he would get a jab in his rib area, which means you can play. Been through it before. Got
an injection,
jab.
yeah?
Yeah, got the stuff. So with him, absolutely confident. Without him, then there's a little bit of doubt considering who would play instead of him.
But how definitive is it, in the sense that if he plays, you don't think they'll win? Or if he doesn't play?
No, if he plays, I think they win the game. If he doesn't play, then I think they get a result. It's either 3 points or a point. I don't see Liverpool losing this game.
If Liverpool have got aspirations to really win the title this year, and that's where they're at with the squad, then this is the games that they can make a mark. If you think about City last year, I think it was last year, down to Stamford Bridge, De Bruyne scores that great goal. They stamp their authority. OK, people will say, well, Chelsea were struggling a little bit last year. Chelsea haven't really been tested well, they have been tested defensively. In the Arsenal game, I was just looking through all the hype about the way Chelsea have played, the way they've passed the ball. Huddersfield, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Cardiff, West Ham, apart from Bournemouth, all teams that are going to struggle, all teams that are going to let you have the ball. All the nonsense about Jorginho's passing stats. Yes, he's a good player. Yes, he's tidy on the ball. But running around against teams that are giving you 75% possession, passing it 5 yards, isn't going to cut it against the real top teams. When Chelsea played Arsenal this season, near the start of the season, it was a 3-2 victory. But the game could have been dead and buried at half-time. Yeah. And Arsenal could have had 5 goals. The Rudiger-Luiz partnership, if that's what it is at the back, is going to be tested to the full by this Liverpool team. And the tactics from the tactics from Klopp's going to be pretty interesting, because we know the way Sarri is going to play. We know he's going to try and get it through Jorginho in midfield. We know Kante's probably going to push on a little bit. It's how much Liverpool can press and how much success the pressing game will have at the right time.
I think when you think of Liverpool's pressing game, I think that's where they stifle Jorginho. And as much as some teams allow him kind of the freedom of the park to do his thing and pull the strings, you show against West Ham, if you drop deep and cut off those passing channels, he doesn't have that kind of an impact. I think it's a different proposition this time around. He simply won't have that time to get his head up and even in making a 5-yard pass. It all comes down to whether you can keep Eden Hazard quiet. Easier said than done. But given what we've seen from Liverpool defensively all season long, I don't see why not. You stifle Jorginho, you keep Eden Hazard quiet, you can get the better of Chelsea.
I think Liverpool can squeeze the game at the right time, because if it's Giroud that plays up front, and for the life of me I can't think why Morata would play. If it's Giroud that plays up front, he's not going to run in behind. The only worry is if they squeeze too much on the runners from midfield, the Willians and the Hazards and players and whoever's making that third man run. But in terms of squeezing up to try and get up and press Jorginho and keep Chelsea in their own half, they should be able to do that in terms of who Chelsea have got up front. The other side of the coin is from Liverpool's perspective, is again the movement of Firmino against Rudiger and David Luiz.
Big difference between teams is match winners. Liverpool's got more match winners on the side. You know, you talk about, Shaka's talking about Hazard. You keep Hazard quiet. Where's the real problem coming from?
Well, it might
and
be
particularly,
some might say Willian,
who started the season great, has been pretty quiet the last couple of weeks for me. But after that, if you throw Willian in, who? And particularly the way that Chelsea play, it's absolutely asking for Liverpool to break on them. And with the pace they've got against Rudiger and David Luiz, and again, I can't wait to see N'Golo Kante on the right wing, because that's where he ends up half the time, crossing balls straight into Alisson's hand and bang. There's a big hole in the middle of the park. Liverpool are getting at Chelsea. I think this is absolutely perfect for Liverpool to go to Stamford Bridge and outplay Chelsea big time.
I say Liverpool can make a statement. Chelsea can make one as well.
Massive.
They can make a massive one to say, look, all the late transfer activity, all the late managers ins and out, we've kept the bulk of our very good players, and we've added a goalkeeper and a holding midfielder, and we've got a very experienced coach who knows what he wants. He's steadfast in the way he wants to play the game, and they can make a statement that they're in the title race.
We'll find out more about Chelsea in this game. We'll find out exactly what Chelsea's got after this game.
The relation player-manager is good. It's not anymore a relation captain or one of the captain's manager. He's just a relation player. Manager is good. Nobody trained better than Paul on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Nobody trained better than him. Sunday trained as well as him, but not better than him. And tomorrow he plays. So, end of the story.
Exactly. End of the story. End of the story. This captaincy thing to me now, if other people want to rumble on with it, fine. The captaincy thing to me means absolutely nothing to me now. The bottom line is, right, he needs to get results and get results fast. Pogba will play, as he stated. He needs him to play well. I don't know if that's going to happen. But what we do know is United and Mourinho cannot afford any more bad results. No matter who captains this club. The captaincy is irrelevant at this stage.
But the reason it is relevant and the reason we're talking about it is because Mourinho keeps bringing it up.
He was asked the question.
You know, but come on, Craig. There's ways of answering the question. You know that he had no reason.
I don't care if he brings it up. All I'm saying is...
No, but you're saying it as if he's got to answer it. There's ways and means of answering it.
He's answered it. Because he's answered it doesn't mean it's the most important thing at the weekend. The most important thing at the weekend is not who captains Man United, is whether they get a result or not.
But they brought it amongst themselves.
I have to say, hold on. I have to say, the way Jose Mourinho answered these questions, that's all I'm asking for a manager. That's all I'm ever asking for him. Honest, to the point, and about what matters. Now, we are talking about one of the biggest names in football management, in Jose Mourinho, one of the biggest players in Paul Pogba, and one of the biggest clubs in world football. So, invariably, anything they do, anything they say, will be newsworthy. But at the same time, just purely from a football management point of view, talking about your team, one of your players, and what's to come, I thought Jose Mourinho handled that press conference brilliantly.
Brilliantly. I don't understand that, Shaka. Listen, this is the guy who, when he started, was supposedly the greatest man manager. Every player supposedly that played for him had nothing but great things to say. When he left teams, they all hogged him. When he went back with other teams, they all hogged him. This guy is absolutely putting his foot in his mouth every time he opens it. I mean, he's talking, again, somehow, and this is only my interpretation of it, somehow, again, he's criticising Pogba by saying he's not a captain. So he's basically telling the world, this guy's a great player, but he's not a captain. So again, he's found a way of slanting it to give him stick.
He's not a
captain for him.
That was last week's story. He stripped him of the captaincy. He's not the captain. We move on.
Well, don't answer the question. Just say move on. That's why can't he say that? Why have you got to say it? Why do we say, look, this is old news, move on? He keeps bringing it up. He keeps talking about it.
It was at a press conference.
And we don't have to answer the question.
The question was, it's an honour to captain Manchester United. You've stripped him of that honour. It's like, yep.
Yeah.
This club is too big.
What's wrong with what you said? That was last week. Move on. You don't have to answer a question just because you get.
All he says is, "Yep, I stripped him of the captaincy. No players bigger than the club," which is true.
He started talking in riddles. He's babbling on.
No, Stevie, we're just listen.
I disagree.
I don't know what you
don't
guys.
Answer it.
I don't know what you guys say. I personally think United should cut the ties and get rid of him. However, why are we sitting here pummeling a guy 4 or 5 days later when he's got a big game at a weekend when he's answered an honest question at a press conference? Why are we? No, he doesn't. We're sitting here. Well, I'm not. You're sitting here pummeling the guy for answering a question at a press conference when he's got a huge game at the weekend, and the Pogba captaincy thing's already run its course at the start of the week. He's not going to be captain at the weekend. That's not a story.
So why are you answering the question now?
Somebody asked him the question.
That's all I'm saying. We don't have to answer it.
It's been such a great start to the season for Juve, obviously, Craig. And there is pressure, isn't there, more, would you say, on Napoli going into this than Juve because of that cushion they've already got?
I suppose there's always pressure, but I mean, away from home, maybe the expectation slightly less. I think Ancelotti's been changing his team up a little bit more. That was one criticism towards the end last year with Serie, that he played the same guys a lot and that they ran out of steam at the end. But I can't help but thinking, and we've talked about it a little bit, is that Juve haven't been great, but just get the job done.
How much will those celebrations still be in the back of Juve's mind, Stevie?
Absolutely, no question. The worrying thing for Napoli is I don't think they're going to have to rely on having that to get them going. The fact they're at home, the fact that Ronaldo's there now, and I hope Dybala plays with Ronaldo, because we know that Juventus can get it done when it's tight, and that'll probably happen again, but it would just be nice to see them opening up a little bit more, and with Dybala playing alongside Ronaldo, I think that would happen as well.
I think there's a lot more pressure on Juventus in this game. The obvious reason being Cristiano Ronaldo, you're defending champions, and though your sights are firmly set on the Champions League, but for Napoli, I still feel like they're still trying to figure things out under Ancelotti, particularly on the road where they haven't been great. It just seems like yesterday that they got tagged.
You're harsh on that.
But 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 3-0 against Sampdoria, away to Sampdoria. I just feel on the road they're still trying to figure things out. I don't see them getting the better of Juventus. I think the challenge for them is to maintain their status as the second best team in Serie.
Gab?
I think Xhaka's a bit harsh on Napoli, given that that's the only game that they lost this season, and probably that game could have taken a very different turn early on. But I take your point. Obviously, Juve are ahead. If you'd asked me to do a combined 11 for these two teams, I think there would probably be 10 Juve players in there. And the one intruder, one interloper would be Koulibaly. That said, Napoli are bouncing. I think they feel pretty confident about the fact that with Ancelotti you can get so many different combinations, so many different looks, even in the course of one game. He's very comfortable in that. For Juve, no Sami Khedira in the middle of the park. Emre Can steps in. And that's the big doubt, is who Juve's third striker is going to be. Obviously, Ronaldo plays, Mandzukic is going to be back, and then it's going to be down to either Dybala, who played well in midweek, or Federico Bernardeschi, who really has been playing out of his skin right now when given a chance. Personally, I'd love to see Bernardeschi.
Prediction, Gab?
I don't think Juve could just keep winning and beating everybody. So, given how tight the other games have been thus far, I'm going to go for the draw, which, knowing a little bit about Allegri, I think would actually suit him.
Real Madrid take on Atleti. Real Madrid, of course, coming into this game off the back of that disappointing defeat against Sevilla. Atleti, after a poor start to the season, have really got things together and are looking more like the side that many of us expected to compete this campaign. I suppose, from a Real Madrid point of view, Craig, how do you sort things out after they were so poor in that first half against Sevilla in such little time?
You don't. I mean, you're not going to take World Cup winners and Varane and Ramos and all these experienced players, the Casemiro, Modric, Kroos, all played. You're not going to take them to the training ground and say, you need to learn this. The guys need to, excuse me, up the game.
Yeah.
I fancy Atleti in this game. I just think they were so lacking structure. I've been impressed the way Atletico Madrid have got better as the seasons went on. He left some players out. I believe in midweek they'll come back into the fray. I do think there's a lack of what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence at the moment at Real Madrid. Among certain players.
It'll be interesting, the reaction, won't it? Is that defeat against Sevilla the kick up the backside they need, or will they go into this game as lackadaisical as they were?
No, not at all. When you have a performance like that, and most teams have one game a season where they just from nowhere, they're unprofessional, it looks like they don't care, everything goes wrong. I think that's the game that Real Madrid had, which I think will hurt Atletico Madrid, because Real Madrid will be at it. As Craig said, they're not going to go out in the field and say, right, you need to do this now. It's a case of reiterating what they should have done, because I don't think Real Madrid are going to change the way they play at all, considering it's Atletico Madrid. So, no, I think this was the last result Atletico Madrid wanted, was them getting stuffed 3-0 during the week.
You're going for a Madrid win?
I'm going for a Madrid win, yes.
Xhaka?
I think this is all Atletico Madrid. For me, I was really disappointed with Real Madrid and that loss against Sevilla, which we've spoken about. And I just don't see how you pick up the pieces quickly enough against Atletico Madrid. When you play in Atletico Madrid, regardless of what form you're in, what form they're in, you need things to go your way. And I just feel too many things right now. You've got no Marcelo. Courtois facing his old club again, still question marks about whether it's him or Keylor Navas. I think Courtois is the decided choice. But I just feel things aren't running as smoothly as they should be. On the other side of the coin, after an indifferent start by Atletico Madrid, you have a team now who are playing at their best. And see Real right now as a wounded animal. You know what you're going to get. I think they come in there full of confidence, as they should. I was looking at the league stats recently. Athletic haven't lost at the Bernabeu in the league since 2012. I think that run continues.
Well, we'll be bringing you the highlights of that game, plus, of course, Juve against Napoli and Chelsea, who are they playing? Liverpool, on the next edition of the show. Hello, welcome to Extra Time. It is Friday. What is the best and most intense derby you guys have played in? Stephen?
I'd probably say Liverpool, Manchester United. I mean, derbies against Everton obviously were everybody was at it. It was a great atmosphere, but just because of the size and the reputation of Manchester United, who at the time was struggling to win a title, every time they came up against us, it was, I mean, for them it seemed like life and death for both players and fans. So I'd say Man United derby against Liverpool, just hedges.
It's not a derby though, is it?
Well, it was called the East Lancs derby, if you want to be technical.
Stop being technical, Craig.
Well, they're not.
Correct, Gav? Would that be correct, Gav? East Lancs derby?
Advantage, Nico.
Anything else?
Well, it's not advantage because you've just served into the net.
Wow.
Is a derby not? Does it
Well,
not? Does it
well,
not
get
have to
another
be
goal
between,
then.
does it not have to be between two teams in the same city to be called a derby?
Same region.
Region.
Craig,
Oh, so sorry,
the Black
Everton.
Country Derby doesn't involve two teams from the same region, does it?
All right.
And what about you, Craig?
I've just gone to the judge, and it never hit the net. It went straight in, on the line.
Really?
Point to me.
Celtic Rangers would have to be.
Surely the judge will be able to see if it hits a net or goes on the line.
All right, I was exaggerating. I was exaggerating the point. Don't go all tech again.
Well,
Craig?
Celtic Rangers would have to be the most intense.
Yeah. Did you score in any of those games?
Yes. England Scotland would be a big one. That was intense, but you played in England Scotland, didn't you?
Aye. Aye, it wasn't intense as the United East Lancs derby.
Xhaka?
Which wasn't a derby.
time and where? Which
Oh, yeah?
Not the same city, so
No.
technically.
That doesn't count then, so it's not a derby.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. No,
No, to be fair, the time where derby is, the Liverpool Man U's
Well, they
not
don't
that.
come with it. They're not the same city. Make your mind up.
Well, they haven't got another team in that city to have a derby against. You
Well,
do.
can't have a
You've got
derby then.
Liverpool Everton. Is Liverpool Everton called the derby? Is Liverpool Everton a derby or not?
I believe it is.
So
Yeah.
you well,
I believe it is.
there you go. So
Let me check with the line judge.
Yeah, I believe it is.
let's just make one up though. It's the East Lancs derby.
Hold on then. So Tranmere, Liverpool's a derby and all then, is it?
Is Tranmere in Tranmere or is it in Liverpool? Is Tranmere a place?
It's in Merseyside.
Is Tranmere a place?
It's in the region. It's
Is
in
there a place
Mersey-
called
yes, it
Tran-
is.
Right, there's a place called. Is there a place called Everton?
Yes.
No, there's not. Everton's
Yes,
in
there is.
Liverpool. It's not in East Lancs.
This is turned into a strange
Well, it's a region, isn't it? Merseyside.
Oh, let's have
Just
the-
like you come for Cumnock. It's
Let's-
in Ayrshire.
Okay, tomorrow we have the regional derby.
So they're called. Hold on a second. Where he
For
come?
those that
By
don't
the way,
know City.
see where he comes from. They're called the Ayrshire derbies.
Right.
So you've got Ayr United against Kilmarnock. It's an Ayrshire derby,
Right.
but they're not in the same town.
Okay.
Cities.
Or city. They're not even in
they
a
can't be
city.
this.
Neither of them are in a city.
Would Alex Ferguson's My Way like...
Who do East Lancs play? Surely.
Gascon.
Well, there's not a place called East Lancs. It's a region.
I know that.
Why put on those glasses? Why the glasses? What are you reading? This is his derby glasses.
It's derby glasses, aye.
And what region are you from?
Would Alex Ferguson's My Way or the Highway style work with today's players?
If you're a good enough manager, it would.
Sorry?
Good enough manager?
Yeah.
Questions about the manager.
The questions about the style of management. Alex Ferguson's Your Way or the Highway.
Well, what about
the
Fergie?
style.
I thought I was more... this is surely about Fergie. Would his technique work now
Yeah.
if he was in coaching?
Yes, it would.
I think he's
Absolutely.
simplifying Fergie's technique a little bit too much. was a lot more to it. I mean, that was part of it, sort of a lot of it, but it wasn't. He picked his moments.
You played under him, Stevie? What do you think?
What did he think of the derby?
If Fergie was to walk in to another
Manchester
team,
derby.
right, and straight away go about with the hairdryer treatment, then the answer would be no, because the players can't handle it.
Right.
But
Modern players.
yeah, if he was to walk into another team tomorrow,
Right.
and start with a hairdryer after a couple of days, they wouldn't be able to handle it. You got to remember that the players that he dealt with throughout his career, he figured out everything about them before he signed them, the personality, everything, every single thing connected with them. And so when he was given the hairdryer, he knew that they wouldn't collapse. Obviously, it would knock them down a peg or two, but they wouldn't collapse. Players today collapse.
What are you looking up, Craig?
Nothing.
No.
Well, I'll give you the example. A friend of mine was managing Queen's Park Rangers.
Right. Football friend.
And he told me that you have to cut it down to maybe 2 or 3 times a season where you actually dig people out, otherwise they just collapse. He said, I've had a Premier League player in the dressing room at half-time crying because he was digging them out. Actually in tears. I mean,
Yeah, can't.
seriously.
I'd be crying, definitely, someone's shouting.
Oh, aye.
You'd be dragged out of the dressing room and told not to come back.
Meanwhile, there was controversy on yesterday's extra time, Gab, because Matteo thinks he's more Italian than you. Your thoughts on that?
Wow.
What?
He questioned your dress sense and your birthplace.
I heard that as
Tell you
well.
what, see where I come from, that's fighting talk.
So, I believe Matteo lived his entire life in a place called Miami. First of all.
Well, there's more. That means he's got ammunition, there's more to come.
It was a bit Mourinho-esque, that face,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
first of all, well,
Second of all,
Respect,
I was
no
actually
respect.
born in Milan at the Clinica San Carlo, which is a private clinic, which is next door to San Siro. I have no idea where Matteo was born, but I would imagine, like most babies in Milan, he was born either at the Niguarda Hospital or at the San Borromeo Hospital, both of which are right by the ring road on the outskirts of town. Okay? Thirdly,
Are you saying there's only two?
that a question?
Are you trying to say there's only 2 hospitals in Miami where babies can be delivered?
this is Milan.
I don't think he was born in Miami, to be fair.
He was born in Milan.
He
Milan.
was.
Hey, Gab,
Matteo.
He just said he was born in Miami.
No, he said Milan, by the ring road in Milan.
Oh, I'll get back to East Lang.
maybe he had a water birth or something like that at home. You don't really know.
Entirely
You're guessing.
possible. Entirely
You're just
possible.
guessing.
But more to the point, it's not a question of degrees. You either are or you aren't. It's not a question of living up to people's stereotypes and talking with an accent like this and stuff like that. It's not about all of that, okay?
Oh.
And I'm sure Matteo deep down understands it and is simply winding you guys up.
Gab,
We don't have conversations about whether Craig is more Scottish than Stevie, do we?
can you,
Stevie's
I'd like
definitely
to ask you a
more Scottish
question
than
here.
Craig.
You know, you said you either are or you aren't. What separates the R's from the aren't?
Goodness, right. Let's move on to that.
Not being Italian.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So what makes you Italian
Hang
then?
on.
You're not Italian, Stevie.
That's what I'm asking.
How is he
You
more
said you
Scottish?
either are or you aren't, right?
How is he more Scottish than me?
He lives up to Scottish stereotype. I think it's more.
Oh, right,
it's
yeah.
more my point.
Are you now generalising Scottish people with stereotypical Steve Nicol?
I'm saying that definitely, if there was a Scottish stereotype, Stevie would fit it.
You never said that at all. What are you on about? So what's the stereotype, by the way?
Well, that's very insulting to Scottish people, I have to
Well,
say.
eating fish and chips for your tea and
No.
ramming pints of lager down your neck, as if I do that.
Are you saying all
I
Scottish
absolutely
people are
don't do
heathens?
that.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But I'm saying if there is a Scottish
'Cause I know he is.
stereotype.
I mean, you can't pigeonhole every Scottish person with that.
Come on, then. What's this Scottish stereotype?
Not a chance.
If there is one, what's this?
I mean, there
if there is one.
are Scottish people. There are Scottish people who have more than 3 foods to their diet.
Is there?
Yeah.
Why don't you have a mean...
You need to introduce me to them sometime.
He added a new one yesterday.
What did you have?
No, he did. He added a new food, peas.
Aye.
He made me stop for peas.
You had to buy peas?
I love spaghetti bolognese. It doesn't make me Italian, Gab, does it?
No, but I think Craig kind of has a point here. So, Craig, for those who don't know, spent some of his formative years in London as a Chelsea youth player and then as a first teamer, where I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Craig, you used to eat at an Italian restaurant. You used to experience the wide variety of foods and cultures
bad
in
things
the big
coming
city.
from you, Steve.
Yes.
Whereas Craig simply had different formative years. He simply had a different experience. There is no right or wrong. But Craig, am I right in thinking one of your beers of choice is?
So I lived in
Moretti?
Liverpool,
Is that
so I
right?
ate a pan of scouse. Does that make me any worse or better
Yes,
than him?
Gavin. I'll have a Moretti
Hey.
and a Peroni. What you got to understand here is this man has an acquired palate.
Pan of scouse doesn't count. Chinese food doesn't count either.
Do you eat Chinese?
Oh, sorry, I've been in Italian before. Oh, sorry about that.
I was with you.
They have Chinese food in
you were
London
with me.
too.
You were with me in an
It's not
Indian,
just
Dan?
Liverpool.
Yeah. Yes, and you hate it.
Yes. Oh, yes. Come on, then. What?
Do you eat pizza?
I've eaten in some of the finest restaurants in the world.
What have you ordered? Steak.
Make sure it's well done and all.
Why don't you have mean tweets reading session by the panellists once a week, similar to many talk shows? Craig, you did one for your birthday.
Yeah.
There you are. Check it out on the website.
Somebody said to me, how do you feel about reading mean tweets and all that? I'm like, I'm okay.
What will be the final score on Sunday for the Ryder Cup? Anyone cheering for the US?
Probably Americans. I would imagine. That's just...
Just off the top
That's
of
a
your
good
head.
guess.
That's it. Shaka, who will you be supporting?
Nobody really.
No, you haven't got a horse. No. Stevie, who's going to win? What's the score? Yeah?
Yep.
Easy?
Oh, it won't be easy, no.
What are you having for dinner tonight?
Peas.
Tapas?
I'm having a salad.
Have you ever had a
this evening.
tapas?
I'm having a... Yes, I've had a tapas.
Have you? No, you haven't.
Wait a minute. Excuse me, can you let me know where I've been and where I haven't been now?
Can you imagine having a tapas?
Tell you what.
No.
This has been so good.
Ask Mark Donaldson. He took me there. Oh, but that doesn't count then.
He took you to a tapas bar?
Yes.
Not having that.
No. What?
What? So it doesn't matter what I say. One of you is going to go, what? I don't believe it.
What did you have?
Oh, don't start trying to
beer.
suck in there. Look at him trying to
A
suck
couple of
in.
beers.
Trying to suck in? What are you talking about?
He said, can I have? He said, I know it's a tapas, but is there any chance I can
I'm
have a
wasting my
spaghetti
breath.
bolognese?
You've got me as a stereotypical Scotsman
Right.
We are.
to start with. Why, man? What makes me that?
We're back there again.
What makes me that? What's that?
Well, he said you're...
He who comes for Cumnock, by the way. Do you know where he comes for? What a place that is.
Yeah, but at least, as Gab said, I've been out and I've
Thank
lived...
God. They've got roadblocks to stop people getting out.
Listen, I know they pick gum off the street where I come
Honestly.
from. But I've opened myself up to all these different cuisines around the world. I'm not bogging myself down in shepherd's pie, spag bol and steak and chips. Oh, and peas. Washed down with the finest of American liquor.
He's having a go at you now. He's criticising Italian cuisine.
I love Italian cuisine.
Ah, that's it.
It's my favourite.
We're done.
We've got to go.
I do.
We're done.
We need extra time for our extra time.
This has taken some weird twists and turns. We'll be back.
Steak well done.
Oh, sorry.
Steak well done. Fries. That's it. Bosh. Peas.
Just because you like something that's barely did.
Barely dead.
Hey.
You leave Mariner alone.
Right, there we go. Right, put the thing up. That's it. Let's end this. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all those big games, of course.
Tell you what.
Available on ESPN+.
We should do a podcast.
On who's more Scottish?
The Serie A predictor with Stevie Nicol. We're starting off with the Rome derby, Roma-Lazio. What do you think?
I've got to go with Lazio. I know Roma had a comfortable win against Frosinone, but who doesn't during the week? I still don't really trust Roma, and I feel bad for Dzeko. Generally, this season he hasn't been given many chances. So for me, this is a Lazio win.
Okay, I think that'll be a draw. I think Di Francesco's under pressure. You mentioned before the Frosinone game they were struggling, but I think they'll do enough to get a point. How about that for a game? Juventus-Napoli.
I'm going to go with Juventus, and I hope Dybala plays with Ronaldo. Juventus, this will be a tight game. Last couple of games between these two have been tight affairs. And if Juventus are involved in a tight game, they generally come out on top. So I'm going to go just with Juve at home.
Remember back in April, Napoli scored late on Koulibaly to win there, and they thought they had a chance at the title, and then blew it against Fiorentina. That one's a draw. Inter against Cagliari.
Inter, regardless of how they play, whether they're good, bad or indifferent, get results and get a lot of late goals. So I'm going to go with Inter on this one over Cagliari.
Yep, with you on that one. Fiorentina against Atalanta.
Fiorentina scored a lot of goals at home. I think that's going to be the tiebreaker between these two sides. Atalanta have only got one win all season. Fiorentina does it for me.
Yep, with you on that one. Now, good one, this one. Sassuolo against Atalanta. Sassuolo against Milan.
I'm going to go with a draw with this one. Okay. Again, Milan, they've been pretty good at throwing points away from me this season. I'm going to go with a draw.
Sassuolo. They've been a gang under Gattuso, so that would be, they're the surprise package, Sassuolo. They're playing really well. Good one at Spal in midweek. So we've differed on 3 of the 5. Let's see how we get on. ESPNFC.com and Serie A, remember, on ESPN Plus throughout the United States. La Liga predictor, Stevie Nicol joins me for this one. Sociedad Valencia, they've started poorly, have they not, Valencia?
Valencia are in danger of being in a relegation zone,
Yeah.
whereas Sociedad have been real solid. They look as though they're going to be ensconced in the middle of the table. And the fact that they're at home, I think, gives them the edge. So I'm going to go with Sociedad on this one.
You know what? If I could give you extra points for the use of the word ensconced, which never appeared in your book, by the way, I would.
Well, that's your fault.
Well, hey, no one would believe you even knew what it meant. Barcelona against Bilbao.
Barcelona, horrendous result during the week. The only thing you know is they're going to come out all guns blazing. And when Messi pulls his guns out, you better get out the road. So Barcelona comfortably wins this.
Yeah, let's not spend too much time debating the rest of that. Eibar taking on Sevilla.
Sevilla will be absolutely flying, having ran over the top of Real Madrid during the week. I don't think Eibar can possibly stay with them. I think this, again, is another comfortable win for Sevilla.
So you've put Eibar in there.
I beg your pardon.
That's fine, but we know what you meant.
You know what I meant.
Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, the Madrid derby. I love these fixtures.
I think this is the perfect game for Real Madrid, having got run over during the week. The only thing you know is they'll be getting at it. Atletico, I'm not quite sure what they're all about. To me, they're kind of caught between wanting to attack but kind of stuck in their old ways of defending and end up doing neither. I think Real Madrid takes this one, particularly because they're at home.
Can't really go 4 out of 4 with you, so I'll say a draw in this one, because we know you meant...
Just because?
Well, we know you meant Sevilla, and if it comes to a tie-break, then...
Well, why don't you bring that up again?
You've picked Eibar, by the way, not Sevilla. Poor, just can't get the
Fair
staff
enough.
these days. That's what we think this week. So Benjamin Mendy at Manchester City, he's injured right now, apparently. And he was late, Stevie Nicol, on Sunday morning, apparently by a couple of hours, for treatment. Pep Guardiola's not happy. Does this put Mendy's future at the club in any jeopardy?
I think definitely. You know, Pep's a guy who is very particular, whether it's on the field or off the field. It's 100% professionalism for him. And if you fall below that standard, then he's not going to let you off. That's going to affect you one way or the other. And the best way to affect a player is to not put him on the field, particularly when you play for such a great side as Man City, and particularly when Pep's got options. So Mendy absolutely is putting his position, certainly on the field to start with, in jeopardy.
Missed his first season due to injury, but he's been excellent this season. Now, he's not tweeted since he was at the boxing at Wembley on Saturday night. He is a voracious user of social media. Does he just need to calm down and concentrate on what he's good at?
No, he needs to be professional and turn up when he's told to turn up and do basically what he's told as far as his profession is concerned. What he does outside of the club, again, is pretty much his own business. but certainly when you're asked to do something or told to be somewhere or do a certain thing by your manager or by who your manager designates to look after you, you do it. Because if you don't, as I said, ultimately what happens is you find yourself sitting on the bench or even worse, sitting in the stand.
Right now, he plays for the best team in England, the defending champions.
Excuse me?
Wait a minute. They're the defending champions.
Well, not the best team in England.
Arguably, forget that. That's not the point.
You said that.
The point is, when you played for Liverpool, when they were arguably the best team in the country, your managers didn't care who put a foot out of line. They'd come down the same, whether it was Dalglish, whether it was you, or whether it was anybody. Is that what Pep's doing as well? Absolutely.
Yeah, the only thing he's concerned with is the team. It's not about individuals. He's shown that with not starting the likes of Aguero. Who doesn't start Aguero in the starting 11? Well, you know what? Pep's the only guy that does it. So he's interested in the team. He's not all about the individuals. And if Mendy doesn't get his act together, he'll soon find out the bad side of Pep Guardiola.
24 points on his driving licence, Mendy. That's more than any Premier League team. I mean, he's gone about this recently, and it's a kind of flippant.
Well, it tells you about his attitude.
That's the problem. That's the point.
And the build-up to the losing his licence is not that he broke the law of speeding. It's he couldn't be bothered to respond and sort his fines out. That tells you that the guy's not got the best attitude. And again, you show Pep a bad attitude, well, guess what? You won't be part of his plans.
Because you know, having played at the top level, there's nothing better than playing for the best team in the country, enjoying yourself and doing well. You know, when you left Liverpool and you were looking back, it isn't the same when you move on. And Mendy doesn't want to be in that situation, does he?
Well, I'm not sure he's actually going about that the right way. He maybe doesn't realise the jeopardy he's putting his position in. But as I said, if he continues to show a bad attitude and continues to not be 100% professional, then there's only one way this is ending up, and that's him out the door.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that, because he's been a huge asset to Manchester City this season.
Chelsea.
Liverpool.
More Salah.
Jorginho.
Do you think Hazard will outshine Salah this season?
He's a genius. For sure, one of the best. He will be the best in the world. It will be a very difficult match tomorrow. They are ready now to win the Premier.
This is a Chelsea team that under Sarri look back to their best. I think they're still trailing Liverpool in terms of pushing for the title. This is a team, for the most part, that have shown they can win the title.
Van Dijk, is he the best centre-back in the Premier League, in your opinion?
I think he's the most influential right now, yeah.
The way that Liverpool attack with numbers, they are bombing 6 players into the box, into the attacking third. It's absolutely remarkable.
We will go to Chelsea and try our best again. Hazard will not only play 20 minutes, so will give us a few questions, probably over 95. I know exactly how good he is.
And it's going to be exciting. There's no half measures with Klopp's Liverpool.
No,
it's all or nothing.
Right.
Yeah. It is all or nothing.
They're great to watch. They're fantastic to watch.